A News 5 special report. By now, you've probably heard of Zika, a virus mostly found in South and Central America, but one that poses a threat here at home. This week, we're diving into the possibility of seeing Zika cases popping up here this summer. News 5's Emily DeVoe has part 1.
A new storm is coming, and some say the entire Gulf Coast could find itself at ground zero. We're talking about Zika.
It's likely that we will see some transmission in our area sometime in the future.
And indeed locally, I say in the southeast, because the mosquito that spreads it the best is the mosquito that we have.
That the Zika virus is, quote, spreading explosively.
Tens of thousands of people are going to and from infected areas all the time.
When the reports first started, no one paid much attention unless they traveled to South America.
Florida now declaring a health emergency.
And even today, health professionals have very conflicting views on just how big the threat might be at home.
The chance that we're going to have a huge outbreak like this going on in the South America and the Caribbean right now is fairly small.
And if we are going to start seeing Zika cases, we might start seeing them soon in the coming weeks. And so that's something that we need to aggressively look for.
Through video chat, we spoke to Dr. Peter Hotez in Houston, who helps create vaccines for tropical diseases. He says doctors are scrambling to create a usable Zika vaccine, but nothing will be ready in time for this year's looming epidemic.
The fact that it's going to be needed, we're going to need to target pregnant women, means we're not going to have this vaccine anytime soon.
If you combine the Aedes family of mosquitoes with pockets of poverty like you have in parts of Mobile, Hotez says you have the perfect storm for a potential outbreak.
Right now, I do not think we're prepared.
Most people infected won't even know they have it. Only 1 in 5 show any symptoms at all.
Fever, a rash, muscle aches.
But infectious disease doctor Stephen Alsop says you could still carry the infection for months.
Once you're infected with it, you actually may carry the virus after your illness is gone. You still may carry the virus and be a risk to someone else for a couple of months.
Those most at risk, pregnant women, since the virus is now linked to severe birth defects. While we haven't seen any mosquito-borne cases in the U.S. yet, expectant mothers are anxious for if and when that changes.
When I was pregnant with my first child, I think I was just nervous because I hadn't been a parent before. And this time I actually was really excited and not nervous at all until recently, once the Zika outbreak started happening.
News 5's Alan Carter's wife, Stephanie, is already taking precautions.
I'm going on a lot of walks and stuff because it's good for when you're pregnant. So I wear bug spray, and then when I come back, I take a shower.
National health officials have been toying with the idea of telling women not to get pregnant this summer, but so far they haven't made that call. Part of the reason is because what we know about Zika evolves every day. 6 months from now, we'll know scores more than we do right now. But if you think this is the first time Mobile has ever been threatened by the Aedes mosquito, it's not.
Nearly every person buried here at the Church Street Cemetery downtown died of yellow fever, a deadly disease carried by the same mosquito as the Zika virus.
It was called the scourge of the South, and as Mobile grew, there were annual outbreaks of the disease, and between 1819 and 1878, there were 8 epidemic years.
Yellow fever is far more deadly than Zika, but just as Mobile was caught off guard by that outbreak, history could repeat itself if we don't start preparing now.
When you look at all the cases in the U.S. of people with Zika, it's very small compared to the entire population. That number of infected people would need to get large enough that the Aedes mosquitoes on the coast could bite someone who's infected before we ever see a homegrown outbreak. In the studio, Emily DeVoe, News 5.